Once upon a time, there was a woman. Her name was April, and she was terrible about buying things. She either bought things because they were on sale, or she bought a bunch of things that she really didn't want because she wasn't willing to buy the one thing that she really did. And the result of that was that her house was too full of too much, how shall I say this kindly? Crap. This is how I became better at buying things, became a more confident buyer. And not only did it save me money over the long haul, but it actually saved me something way, way more important than money, and that is time. So these are the three better questions that I ask before I buy stuff, before I buy anything. And I thought this might be timely because you might be sitting here going through a bunch of receipts after Christmas thinking, oh my goodness, we have got so much stuff. I've bought so many things. Do I even want this stuff? How does this happen? So let's just slow down for a minute and just watch this video. It will show you the one question that you should not be asking when you buy stuff, and three better questions to ask before you buy things. This is a big one. This has the potential to save you thousands of dollars and thousands of shopping hours over the span of your lifetime, no matter where you are in your life's journey. So, it's never too late to learn a new, better tool, is it? All right, so let's get started. First of all, what was the worst question that I was asking? How much does this cost? As in, is this on sale? See, I thought I was being wise when I was trying to be frugal because in my head it went something like this. If this is cheap or on sale, I'll buy it. And if it's expensive or not on sale, I won't. But that's the wrong metric. Here's the problem that question doesn't actually save us money. What actually saves us money is not spending money at all, not going shopping. And if you really desperately need to save money, then I recommend you stop shopping. I'm not assuming that you need to save money. I'm assuming that you've got too many things and you're wanting to become a wiser purchaser of things so that they add to your life instead of pulling away from your life. So, when we're asking how much it costs and letting that be the deciding factor, that makes no sense because number one, we're not actually saving money. But here's the deeper problem with that question, and I want you to really sit with this. When you make your purchases dependent upon the price, it is quietly teaching you that your needs or your desires or your happiness all have a price tag, and that you're only allowed to want them if they're within a certain range, if they're discounted. It is subtly keeping us in the scarcity mindset. And if that's something that you've struggled with, like it's something that I have struggled with, then you will want to be aware of it and you'll want to cut that question out of your life altogether. Or if you don't cut it out of your life altogether, I'm going to show you actually at the end, after the three better questions to ask when you're spending money, I'm going to show you how to ask the price question without putting you in scarcity mindset. Okay. So let's stop starting with the price because there are things that are more valuable to us than our money. And I'm going to reveal that at the end too. So here are the three better questions. First question, I love this question so very much, and I'm going to tell you a funny story with it. First question, who is buying this? As in, which version of me is making this decision? Is it past me trying to fix something? Is it bored me that's just looking for a distraction or a stimulation? Is it idealistic me? Like, if I buy this, then I will finally do this. If I buy this fabulous weight set. I actually did just buy a weight set over Christmas. I will finally start lifting weights. I am not relying upon buying a weight set to get me to lift weights. I was already lifting weights. I'm looking to simplify. So I did make sure it was not idealistic me that was buying that weight set. Or is it current me, future me? And this is bringing me closer to my future goals. I mean, and I can see how it's doing. So here's the funny story. I used to go clothing shopping with my sisters all the time. My sisters have fabulous taste, and our coloring matches and our styles align somewhat. And so I would go shopping with them and I would spend money, and then I would come home and I wouldn't wear the things like I thought I would. And I'm like, what is the deal? And I realized that while I was out there shopping with them, I was subtly buying their life. So I had one sister that was buying clothes that were more professional than I was going to wear. I had one sister who was buying clothes that were more sporty than I was going to wear. And I felt like I was the sister in the Three Bears that it's just not right. So when I was shopping with my sisters, there was just enough similarities that I kept on, getting into their mindset. So which version of me was buying clothes when I was shopping with my sisters? The one that thought like my sisters instead of thought like me. So I was buying their life instead of my life. And that's why it just wasn't working. Which version of me is buying this? Am I trying to buy something because it really is aligning with whom I'm becoming? Or am I buying it because this is just what I've always bought and I feel most comfortable here? Or am I buying this because I'm bored and I'm just wanting a pick me up? Or it's an impulse? Pay attention. Always answer the question, who is buying this? All right. Oh, I love it when fantasy me buys something. You know, you buy something and it's super elaborate, and you're like, you get it home and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so complicated. I will never wear this. It's got too many pieces. It's too hard to work. It's too hard to use. Pay attention. It's so much fun. You will learn so much about yourself. This is such a confidence building exercise. Who is buying this? Which version of me is making this decision? Okay, that's question number 1. Question number 2. Oh, this question, this is the gold standard. Will this make my life easier or harder over time? The question is not, do I like it? Although that is a very, very important question. The question is, will I enjoy taking care of it? Will I enjoy storing it? Will I enjoy cleaning it? Will I enjoy remembering that it exists? Will I enjoy putting it in my closet or does it not fit? I love fancy serving dishes. They are just delightful. They've got all these, like, maybe scalloped edges or prettiness, but I do not enjoy making room for them in my cabinet and having things stacked, one thing on top of the other, and it all getting in my way. So I limit myself there to 1 or 2 great pieces that I can use over and over again. Here's another thing. Will I enjoy taking care of this? Will this make my life easier or harder over time? I have learned since I've moved to this area to not buy a lot of dry clean only pieces. Like, it's okay to buy a dry clean only jacket because those don't need to be cleaned very often, but a dry clean only blouse because I do not have super easy access to the dry cleaner. I have access to one, but it's not super easy access, and I don't enjoy making the time to go to the dry cleaner often. So, therefore, I check the label and be like, oh, no, this is dry clean only. This will complicate my life. I'm not up for complication. So, what are those things for you? Pay attention to. Is this actually making my life easier or harder over time? This is why I love a good candle. But I don't buy a lot of candles because having to choose which candle to burn is annoying to me. But burning my favorite candle over and over again until it completely burns out and then going and shopping for a new candle, I love that. So, what are those things for you that make your life easier or harder? And it's really interesting because our personalities can really shine forth through this question because we find out the things that we're willing to do and the things that we're not willing to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make you lazy, it doesn't make you a diva. People just have different standards. People have different things that they want to put their time to. And that's what I'm driving at. Okay, so that was question number 2. Question number 3. Oh, I love this question. This is a good question for this time and age, especially. This is a question that I think we've all stopped asking, and it would probably serve us better to ask it a little bit more often. If I couldn't return it, would I still buy it? So that is the question that cuts through impulse buys, guilt buys, fantasy buys, just in case buys. If I can't return it, would I still buy it? This is so helpful because it reminds us that a bunch of returns are not actually serving us. They're taking up our time. They're taking up our time, they're taking up our energy, they're taking up our attention. Sometimes we don't even get to them until the window closes. I had one client whose time was worth so much money, as in she could use her time to make so much money that it didn't make sense for her to return any of her stuff. Your time is worth so much sometimes that doing low cost benefit activities is not serving you. So put the savings up front. If I couldn't return this at all, would I still buy it? And that will help you. Maybe you'll read the reviews a little bit more closely and decide on it. One of the ways that it's changed the way that I shop, I'll still do returns, but what I'll do is I will do all of my seasonal shopping really tight together. So, for example, I lost some weight and I needed to buy a whole new summer wardrobe right before we went on vacation. I had nothing to wear. And so what I did was I bought everything very, very tightly together, and I bought several things off Amazon at the same time, knowing that I could try it all on at home and I could make one trip back to the UPS store to do those returns. And so it's made returns a lot easier. But see what I'm solving for here. What I'm solving for here, what I am implicitly reminding myself is that my time, my energy, and my attention, they're all way more valuable than my actual money. I use my time, my energy, and my attention to make more money. And if as I'm shopping, I'm making money the thing, then it's automatically lowering all the other measurements. So I'm not actually buying something because I like it or because it adds joy to my life or it adds increased functionality to my life. I'm buying it because it's discounted. So you see how this is just not making sense anymore when we understand that the most valuable part of our life is not our money, it's our life. Because all through our life, we can use our time to make more money. But we've only got one of those precious things called life. So pay attention. Our money is replaceable, our time really isn't. And the most important, the most expensive thing that we own is our life. So this just gives us back our ownership. So if buying something is going to quietly cost you more time, or it's going to take attention that you can barely spare, or it's going to add complication to a life that already feels mentally cluttered or overly full, that is not a deal at all. I don't care if it's even free. That is a tax. It's a time tax, or it's an attention tax, or it's an energy tax. Buy things that give you back your time, your energy, your attention. And then you can finally ask, is this the price? that I want to spend for this? So it's only after I ask those 3 questions. Who is actually buying this? And will this make my life easier or harder over time? Or thirdly, if I couldn't return it, would I still buy it? Then, because that really gets to, did I really, really want this? Then, and only then, do I allow myself to flip over that price tag and be like pleasantly surprised, oh, yay, or gasp in mild shock, oh my gosh. But that's okay. Because that's when we should be making the financial decision of, does this actually now make sense in my life? Even if I have to save for it, even if I have to wait for it a little bit longer. One of the more expensive things that I bought in the last year was a coat that I absolutely love. It's the most money that I've ever spent on a coat in my life, but it so fits me. It's a lovely style, a lovely color, it's leather, it's quality. I will get more use out of it. And when you really think about it over time, the use that I get out of it will lower the cost of owning it. I will get more wears out of it. So, if buying something will cost you more time, more effort, or more mental energy, it's not a deal. And if the price is more than you want to spend, that's fine. But at least you allowed yourself to get clarity on what it is you really want. And sometimes that's just valuable to know. That's when we start living into our trueness. That's when we start living into our future. When we stop buying from scarcity or impulse and we start buying from this newfound clarity for the woman that we're becoming, suddenly we start to realize we actually don't need as much to feel rich. Look, I know this isn't the traditional way to shop or to save money, but it is the transformational way. It is the way to make your purchases, even your purchases, align with the woman that you are becoming. The time rich woman, the confident woman, the woman who has bigger goals than just keeping up with her stuff. And maybe you're the kind of woman who would rather transform how she lives rather than just spending her time managing her spending, managing her things. So, if that's for you, then stay tuned. I will be sharing lots of tips about becoming the time rich woman in the coming days. My name is April Bragg, and I am the Time Rich Woman Coach. And I have a special gift for you. So, if you would like to become a more confident decision maker, I have the 60-second decision filter. It is my free gift to you. Go to aprilbragg.com/decide. And these 3 questions will have you making confident decisions in under a minute. It's one of the best things that you can do is just to take the time to become a more confident decision maker in your own life. It'll pay you back in every single way. So, if you hadn't had a chance to grab that, grab it now. And if you would like personalized help becoming the woman who surrounds herself only with the things that she loves or the things that are helping her become the woman she desires to be, then I invite you to book a clarity call. Spots are limited during this season, but if it feels like the right time, trust that instinct. You will find the link to that in the description. After listening to this, if you have any questions, make sure that you drop them in the comments below and I will be glad to address them or maybe make a future video about it. But in closing, as we end 2025 and we look forward to 2026, make sure you take time to celebrate how awesome you are. I'm serious about that. Take a moment to celebrate how awesome you are. All right, I'll talk to you next week. Bye bye.